Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? Well, this is extremely serious. This is actually, here we go again. It just doesn't feel right. The death of John Barnett, a 32-year-old retired Boeing employee who testified as a whistleblower, and then days later, he's dead. Let me tell you all about that. And we have to ask some questions. You just have to. How many times are we going to see this kind of repeating situation? What does it all mean? It could be more to the story. Let's do this. Let's put a shout out right now for www.don'twastepower.com. That's www.don'twastepower.com. Just like groceries, gas, and food, your energy bills are expected to keep hitting record highs over the coming months, too. Yet the greedy power companies show no signs of lowering their cost. That's why I've been using this incredible little device. Excuse me. I actually love it, actually. Thanks to this. I just don't know how that works, but it works. I'm able to help slash my power bills thanks to this and beat the greedy utility companies and keep more money in your pocket every month. Just use the link below. Go to www.don'twastepower.com or click on the link below, don'twastepower.com, in the description below this video, don'twastepower.com. And guys, if you use this, if you use the link in my description, you save 65% off the price of this. It's unbelievable. This is insane. It's amazing. Get it now at don'twastepower.com. You just plug it in the wall socket, and it levels out the flow of the currency of the electricity and stop all that herking and jerking, and it smooths it out and it brings the cost of total consumption down. Unbelievable. All right. And another situation that's unbelievable is what's just happened to this man at Boeing. Oh, by the way, get your tickets now for the Apocalyptic Signs, the webinar. It's about to start. It's starting in just 10 days. Just got 10 days left to get the ticket. The webinar is going to be incredible. Apocalyptic Signs. Yesterday, I interviewed Mark Biltz and I interviewed Doug Hagman. Both these guys left my jaw on the floor. Doug Hagman dropped bomb after bomb after bomb. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a video up on my Patreon channel. Right after we're done with this video, I'm going to go over there and get that uploaded, okay? I did another video of Doug Hagman, because his exclusives are incredible, as you guys know from the last time. And so anyway, Doug Hagman, I filmed him for the webinar, and then I filmed Mark Biltz, Pastor Mark Biltz, and he does the most comprehensive explanation of biblical signs in the heavens with charts and graphs. He's a lot like Gil Brazard is. His is incredible, though, because it talks about all these solar eclipses and blood moons and comets and all the different in the calendars and the dates, and it helps you understand the coming rapture. It helps you understand the coming tribulation period. It helps you understand the coming of Jesus Christ. But he does it in pictures and easy explanations and easy for anyone to learn. It's unbelievable presentation by Pastor Mark Biltz. So you want to get your ticket right now because they're not the only two speakers. There you see it. Mark Biltz, Doug Hagman. Today I'm going to be filming BP Earthwatch for this webinar. Troy Anderson, Mike from around the world, Rex Bear. I'm going to film him today. Mike Kerr, Jeannie Moore, myself. I've got a great presentation for you. And then my son, Bart Begley, documentary. All of it. Get your ticket, get your ticket, get your ticket now at paulbegleyprophecy.com. All right. What happened to the Boeing? What happened to this man? John Barnett. What happened to this man? Here's what we're finding out. Here's what the information is. Boeing's whistleblower, John Barnett, found dead in the United States. According to reports, a former Boeing employee known for raising concerns about the firm's production standards has been found dead in the United States. John Barnett had worked for Boeing for 32 years until he retired in 2017. But in the days before he died, he had been given evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. Boeing said it was saddened to hear that Mr. Barnett had passed. The Charleston County coroner confirmed that he died yesterday. What did he die from? What did the man die? Just days after he testified. Just a few days after, he then ends up dead. Well, they say the death was self-inflicted wound. The 62-year-old had died from a self-inflicted wound yesterday, according to police, and they were still investigating. The coroner says, but Mr. Barnett had worked for the U.S. Boeing plane giant for 32 years until he retired, 2017. From 2010, he worked as the quality control manager at the North Charleston plant, making the 787 Dreamliner a state-of-the-art airliner used mainly on long-haul routes. Now, in 2019, John Barnett had told the BBC that under pressure, workers had been deliberately fitting substandard parts to the aircraft on the production line under severe pressure. He also said he had uncovered serious problems with oxygen systems, which could mean one out of four breathing masks would not work in an emergency. He said soon after starting work in South Carolina, he had become concerned that the push to get new aircraft built meant the assembly process was rushed and safety was compromised, something the company is denying. He later told the BBC that workers had failed to follow procedures intended to track components through the factory, allowing defective components to go missing. He said in some cases, substandard parts had been removed from the scrap bins and fitted to the planes. They were already substandard. They didn't meet the They didn't meet the right size, or the holes drilled in the wrong place, or the piece was cut wrong. Whatever, they would throw them in the scrap bin. But when they run out of parts, they would go back to the scrap bin and get the parts that had already been discarded and fit them onto the planes that were being built to prevent delays on the production line. He also claimed the test on emergency oxygen systems due to be fitted for the 787s showed a failure rate of 25%. John Barnett was a former quality control manager there in Boeing, and he's alerted the other managers while he worked there of his concerns, but there was no action taken. Boeing has denied his assertions. However, a 2017 review by U.S. regulators, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, did uphold that some of Mr. Barnett's concerns. They found the documentation. It established that the location of at least 53 non-conforming parts in the factory was being used, and that they were considered lost. Boeing was ordered to take immediate action. But on the oxygen cylinders issue, the company said that 2017 it had identified some oxygen bottles received from the supplier that were not deploying properly. But it denied that any of them were actually fitted onto the aircraft. But John Barnett says, yes, they were. And he was the quality control manager. After retiring, though, he embarked on a long-running legal action against Boeing. He accused it of denigrating his character, hampering his career because of the issues he kept pointing out. Charges rejected by Boeing. At the time of his death, though, Barnett had been in Charleston for legal interviews linked to the case. Let me say that again. At the time he died, he was in Charleston for depositions, for legal interviews. He was to have more interviews to go. Last week he gave some formal depositions which he was questioned by Boeing's lawyers. He was cross-examined by his own counsel, and he was due to undergo further questioning when he did not appear Saturday. Instead, they found him dead in his truck in the hotel car parking lot with a gunshot to the head, which now authorities are saying was self-inflicted, or at least it looked that way. So my question is, have we heard this story before? And I would like your comments below. Are you suspicious of the cause of death to John Barnett? Or should we take the authorities and the Boeing company at its word? Now, we know Boeing just recently had that plug come just in mid-flight, just ripping out of the plane. Okay? It's a miracle nobody got sucked out. If anybody would have been not in their seatbelt, they'd have been out that window. Okay? Then just 2 days ago, a tire went flying off of a Boeing jet as it was taking off. 2 days before that, we had a door that came off. Didn't completely blow off the plane, but it came open as the plane was in the air. We've had more time after time. I mean, it seems like it's every other day, situations developing. Is it because of substandard quality control, or are we dealing with something? Is there potential sabotage that's been going on in some of the Boeing plants? Or is John Barnett correct that substandard parts, missing bolts, wrong-sized parts, defective breathing apparatuses, oxygen mask, and some other non-functioning equipment used on these planes to keep up with the demands? Something's not adding up, Buzzy says. Paul Begley, something's not adding up. I agree with you. What does this all mean? And what are the odds that this guy would be found dead during a 2-week period that he's giving his own depositions? Dead men can't talk. And does Boeing benefit by that? Their stock has been plummeting as these events keep taking place. It's just a question. Look at me. I'm just a preacher from the cornfields of Indiana. I don't have the answers. But certainly somebody, and the good Lord, does. No. I thought about this a minute. I'm very concerned because John Barnett, a 32-year, got a full pension. Why would he lie? When he worked there, he pointed these things out, and now he's still saying, "Look," and they're deposing him. So he's being subpoenaed to come and testify. You got to show up when you're subpoenaed, unless you're Hunter Biden. Just pray for his family. Just pray for his family. Oh, I got problems, don't I? I got PBT issues here. Things aren't working right. But you know what? Could be defective parts. I see geese flying high above the water, the child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long, as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. I feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday. Falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long, as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long, as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walked the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. A lot of questions about John Barnett's loss of his life during this time he's being under subpoena and giving testimony as a quality control manager. But let me just say, it could have been the pressure, could have been just the pressure of the whole situation. I'm saying let's all pray for his family, because it's just still, it's a tragic loss to a good man. It's a very sad ending. And our prayers are with his family, as this is a terrible, trying time for them. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Our prayers go out. God bless. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Yeah, we're living in the last days.